Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to the PHLY Flyers Pregame Show presented by Coors Light. Visit CoorsLight.com/PHLY Hockey to get Coors Light delivered or find a store near you. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me tonight, whatever you want to call it, is Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. It's here, Kelly. It is
it's happening.
Christmas, New Year's, new era of orange. In about half an hour, we will see the NHL debuts of both Matvei Michkov and Jett Luchanko. It's a new day here in Philadelphia. It really feels like, I just saw Charlie tweet, like, yeah, it's a 10 o'clock game, and that might dampen it in a little bit, but for the first time in so long, there's reason for excitement. And it is not Stanley Cup aspirations, but it is, oh, for you, sure. You pick the Flyers every year.
Yeah.
It is not that, maybe, but it's something else. It is the beginning of something truly new with the 2023 7th overall pick and the 2024 13th overall pick suited up tonight. It feels good.
Feels real good. I'm really excited. Like, in a way that I haven't comprehended it yet because it's been so long since I've known what to do with this kind of feeling. So I think maybe it'll be like halfway through this game, or maybe after Michkov does something sick, that I'm going to be like, oh, okay.
Absolutely. We are looking forward to seeing some line rushes and warm-ups tonight. I am hawking Charlie's Twitter. We haven't seen anything since the...
Hello.
Yeah, well, come on, man. Half an hour. What are we
You're
doing,
there,
Chuck?
bud.
Haven't seen anything since the morning skate lines, which were interesting to say the least, Kelly. Yes, Michkov and Konechny on that top line. Couturier not at morning skate. Cates in the middle. Noah Cates. Back to 2 years ago where he's the 1C.
Noah Cates, yeah.
We have to believe this is just like Sean Couturier is not going to participate in morning skate.
Listen.
It is also John Tortorella.
Sean Couturier is the old on the team. I mean, outside of like Eric Johnson. As the old here on this particular show, I would just like to say Sean Couturier probably wanted to sleep in a little bit for this 10 p.m. start.
Yeah,
he just needed a little extra.
It is, of course, 7 o'clok there. The game is starting.
Yeah, but that's fake time.
Yeah.
The only time that's real is Eastern Standard Time.
I would hope that these maybe the team building exercises just took a little bit out of him.
Yeah.
He needed to sleep in.
Gotta sleep in.
And so it was at morning skate, Michkov, Cates, Konechny, Tippett, Frost, Forster. We knew that already. Farabee, Luchanko, Brink. We knew that. And then Ryan Poehling, also not at morning skate. And
he's not an old.
Would not classify him as an old.
I always forget how young he is, actually. He's 25.
Yeah. It was Lawton, Delorier, Hathaway was your fourth line at morning skate. Do with that what you will. We are still waiting to see if there's anything different.
Maybe Torts decided that Dad needs to be in the lineup just in case somebody decides to get a little fresh with his boy.
It did seem, especially now with Nick Seeler out of the lineup, like we did hear, like on the way back from New York when they picked up Michkov,
right?
They're showing him videos. Like, there's a guy who doesn't speak the language, and they're just like, look at him fight Rempe.
Yeah.
So maybe Delorier. We will see how this all works out. We are flying blind, as is everyone else right now. The defense: York, Sanheim, Johnson, Drysdale, and Zamula, Risto. Seeler is on IR to start the season. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
They did recall Emile Andre. If Seeler remains out, it seems like Andre will draw in tomorrow in Calgary. But for tonight, it's probably going to be the resident
number 7.
Yeah,
Guy's hanging out just for this purpose.
Eric Johnson.
Yeah.
He has, I believe, 13 games to go before he reaches 1,000.
Oh, I love that for him.
The goal this year is probably to get him there and not too many more, hopefully.
Right.
But it's regardless, we will see how this lineup goes. You got to believe Couturier and Poehling will be in. Especially, I mean, Poehling, that's the coach's boy.
Yeah, that's why he didn't have to go to morning skate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But right now, it's still Michkov and Luchanko. That is what we are looking at tonight. We did some preseason predictions.
I saw.
And yeah, we put them out again today.
Yeah.
Graphics and everything. Our guy Chris did a great job. Brenna always excellent. And it's going to be rookie watch all year, Hinkle.
Yeah.
Last night.
Oh, stanky.
Yeah, Logan Stankoven.
Yeah.
I was the only one. Both Charlie and Kelly picked Matvei Michkov to win the Calder Trophy.
Look what you did.
Logan Stankoven starts the year. 3 assists in the Stars opener. Listen, that's why I picked him, is because he's on a team that scores a lot, and he's like technically a rookie because he played 24, not 25 games last year.
He's got the Panarin rookie.
And he had a really good playoff for them. He's like kind of a veteran. That's why I picked him, and didn't want to jinx it. Didn't want to be the only one. Michkov across the board, not interesting. Macklin Celebrini in his debut, the first overall pick from July. Goal and an assist, both in the first period. Pretty good day for him, I would say.
Good for him.
Lane Hudson in Montreal, 2022 second rounder. No points in the opener, but he did have a pair of assists in Montreal's second game. And Josh Doan scored in Utah's second game, didn't score in the opener. So that's what we're looking at right now for the Calder race. What are our expectations for Michkov tonight?
Is that Shane Doan's kid?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
Could they stop putting the children of people that we watched play hockey into?
Is a little different, though, because like you start at 18, 19.
I know. It's
so,
just
like,
too much.
We could eventually have the crossover father-son playing. Like,
could happen.
How old is Crosby's kid? He'll play. Like,
God.
Does he have a son? Is that going to happen one day?
Maybe.
Could that be the case?
Anyway, what are we expecting from Matvei Michkov?
Well, I guess that'll take us right into the. Let's do it. Let's do this. This pregame pick segment is brought to you by Bet365. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and physically located in PA. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Opened up the old Bet365 this morning, said, why wouldn't I want to have some action on the game? And we'll get into the reasons why I didn't bet on the Flyers in a few minutes. But I see Matvei Michkov over 0.5 points, over half of a point, minus 120. So basically even odds. They're going to take a little juice from you because that's what sports books do. Absolutely taking that. There's no way he doesn't have a point tonight. Oh, he's a showman.
No way.
He is a showman.
Yeah, he knows the assignment.
Yeah.
He's 100% on board.
He knows why we're all staying up well past some of our bedtimes. Hashtag Flyers After Dark. And also looking at Michkov anytime goal, because if he's going to get a point, why doesn't he just put it in himself? Pause. Great time for Blue Chew, but no, not tonight. We don't have one tonight either. 3 shows, none of that for you. Michkov anytime goal plus 180. I took both of them. Why not go all in on opening night? And he's got to keep pace. This is an all-year race for the Calder Trophy. Obviously, I bet that if you can still find it. He was the favorite, I think like 3-1. Listen, he's the favorite. It's not going to be a huge payoff, but it's our guy, so you win twice. I am looking very much forward to this debut. Luchanko not listed. Wanted to see if he could pick up a point on his opening night, but didn't see him listed when I checked this morning.
I feel like he'll probably get a point. I don't think it'll be a goal, but I think he will probably at least like a secondary assist.
Maybe on that power play.
Yeah, something.
Get that secondary power play time.
I'm going 3-point night for Meech.
He catches up with Stankoven. Yep. He's near the top. Has, I think, Cutter debuts tonight as well. So we have not yet seen a game from him, but that's the other guy kind of in this Calder race with them. Listen, I don't think...
How unlike him to not show up yet.
That's good.
What are we waiting for?
But I'm very much looking forward to this. And obviously, I would assume most of Philadelphia has money on. If you are of the sports gambling persuasion, you probably have something on Michkov tonight, because why not?
Time to see how collectively cursed we all are.
Yeah, that's, again, as a nation. As always, especially on player props, beer and pizza money. This is hockey. Yeah. It's basically pinball out there. Mm-hmm. You never know. Beer and pizza money. That varies for some people. Large chunk of my income goes towards that, but for the regulars out there. And this is the PHLY Flyers pregame show, brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. Hinkle. This is really fun that we're going to see both of them. I saw Kevin Kerr's tweet earlier today that just really tickled me. Yeah, last time Flyers had 2 players make their NHL debut in a season opener was October 4th, 2019.
Oh, my Lord.
All the way back in when they played in Prague in 2019. Elaine Vigneault, that game. Carson Twarynski and Connor Bunnaman debuted against the Blackhawks. And, a little bit more excitement.
Man.
Like,
Connor
I
and
quoted
the
that.
Bunny Man.
I had to quote this and just go, I can't believe there are fans left to be excited about tonight.
There was a time when we, on this very podcast.
This podcast feed, like if you're listening audio.
We're like amped the F up about like the germ. Like we were so excited.
Yeah, it turns
about
out
a bunch of mid guys.
Not good.
None of them were good. We were so psyched.
Did both of
Carson
them
Twarynski, we were like, he's gonna be something.
Were both of them sent away in the Giroux trade? I know Bunnaman was part
definitely
of
was.
But Twarynski's part of that group of dudes who all had the same name, and I can't remember. It was Bunnaman and Ruby went to the Panthers in the Giroux trade for Owen Tippett back. So a little bit, yes, I would agree with Kevin Kurz. A little bit more excitement tonight. It just, I know it's game one, and we'll see how the season goes in terms of wins and losses, the playoffs, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But it really does feel like we are turning the corner. And they didn't have an off season where they added a bunch of guys, didn't spend anything in free agency. That's still a little bit away. No major trades.
Yeah.
But here we are, and it's truly the beginning because Misha's here.
That's really all that matters for tonight, really. I feel like that's like all I really care about. Like, obviously, there's other things. You want to win the game, want to see Jett look good. But more than anything else, I want to see Michkov come out onto the ice and just, like, declare to the Philadelphia Flyers and all of their fans, like, this is my team now. This is mine. I'm going to make it better, even though I'm a small child. We were discussing earlier his pimples because he's a baby.
Yes.
I just want to see him come out and just like really show it to the league, to everyone watching, to West Coast fans. Like, you let me fall to 7?
7.
Like,
all right. Bedard was the guy always.
He was always the guy.
But
that
7,
guy's number 2. I'm telling you, every redraft from here until we're dead, he's going to go number 2.
And we have maybe number 1. And we have confirmation finally from Philadelphia's number 1 hockey beat writer, Charlie O'Connor.
Hey.
Same lines in pregame skate, except Couturier in for Cates and Paling in for Delorier. Eric Johnson playing the left side with Drysdale on the right.
As we predicted.
So it'll be, Johnson, Drysdale, Zamula, Risto, York, Sanheim, and Couturier with Michkov, Konechny.
Can I just say
Lawton and Hathaway with Paling. So it's what we expected.
I know there's not a lot to be done about this situation, but it kind of stinks that Jamie Drysdale, who really needs to get off to a hot start, in my opinion, who really needs to like show everyone that he is better than he was last year, that he's healthy, that we're going to see some stuff from him. He's getting a little weighed down.
Yes and no. I will say that, like, the idea was Sealer and Drysdale all along.
Yeah.
So that those two could build chemistry. And the whole thing about Nick Sealer, what everyone says is great about him, you know where he's going to be. So Drysdale can go do things that we need Drysdale to do, orchestrate the breakout, win races to pucks in the corner, start and join the rush. And you have all the confidence in the world that Nick Sealer is going to be back there blocking shots, battling in front, doing Nick Sealer stuff. That said, you know where Eric Johnson's going to be.
That's true. He can't go that far.
Although he has joined the rush a little. He had that net front goal in the preseason.
Like I said, there's nothing to be done about it. Like, it is what it is. You can't, like, the other two pairs are, like, I know there's nothing to be done. It just kind of stinks that first game out of the gate. Jamie Drysdale's going to be hampered a little bit.
It's not the guy he practiced with for the majority of the preseason. It is not a sub 36-year-old or whatever. He's a little bit on the elder side, but in terms of role and what you're expecting, Eric Johnson for all intents and purposes, is the same
That's fair enough, yeah.
as Nick Seeler. Seeler graded out great last year. For all the, look at that contract extension. It's by some models, the year he had last year, it's like, no, actually he was worth double.
Yeah.
We'll see how much Sean Walker had to do with that. Those two, excellent pair. Now the middle pair to start this season, nowhere close to what it was to start last year. Both guys missing. Sean Walker traded to Colorado, signed with Carolina, and Nick Seeler starts the year out injured with that weird injury. It seemed like nothing. Not even a shot. Blocked a pass, hit him in the back of the knee, and now he's got numbness in his foot, and they just can't get him out there. Seems odd.
I don't want to derail the show, as is my way.
Wow. We got 14 more minutes.
The NHL preseason is a problem. It's becoming a problem.
It's
like these guys should not be sacrificing the body in meaningless games in September. Nick Seeler, you have a job. Like, what are you on about? Like, why did you do this? Now you're out for who knows how long.
And that's what makes Nick Seeler is he has to play.
The preseason is the problem.
It's like Rudy, where they're telling him to slow down in practice. And he's like, if I do, I won't be out here. And that's Nick Seeler. Nick Seeler has to be him, or he wouldn't. Like, he was almost out of the league when the Flyers got him.
Know.
And now he's got a long-term freaking contract. So you would think like maybe slow down, but he's just unable to. And this preseason, listen, injuries can happen. We've seen guys get hurt in practice. We've seen guys get hurt in pregame skate. But it does seem 6 games seems like a whole lot.
It's too many and it's dumb.
My biggest issue, and I've heard this brought up on like 32 Thoughts and a couple of the national pods, it's like, and this has nothing to do with how Seeler got hurt, but the big disparity in the lineups. Like, okay, we're not going to play our stars all 6. That's insane.
Right.
So teams tend to play their best players, their starters at home. And the road team starts an AHL, ECHL, going back to their juniors team lineup. Mm-hmm. Those guys are looking to make an impression. We saw it, like, maybe the line A injury was avoidable, but it's just NHL dudes know, okay, I'm beat, so be it. And a guy, even if he's not trying to go knee on knee, but just trying to make himself a little wider to get around and sticks out his leg, suddenly Patrick Laine's out months.
Right, because there's one particular way to really get yourself noticed in the NHL.
Take out a big guy.
And that's take out a big guy or get in a big stupid fight or do something dumb. And they know that. And they often take advantage. You can't fault them for it. It's the system that's the problem.
So looking at what I assume will be Sam Ersson in net for the Flyers tonight, do we know who's going to start? I assume it's going to be Chivos.
I would imagine.
He got lit up, though. In the opener for Vancouver, allowed 6 goals on 26 shots. Ooh. Their Demko problem might be a problem for them. When you score 5 in the opener, you're hoping to win.
Demko is hurt.
Yeah, that's apparently that's a real thing.
People forget that.
People forget that maybe he might be out hurt. But we see this. Vancouver in a real goaltending bind.
Yeah, they got a problem.
Because Demko is their guy, but as you see, Chivos got lit up in the opener. Not a ton of career starts, not great career numbers to start his career. And then Kevin Lankinen, a decent backup, but 11-6 last year. Didn't exactly play a ton. I don't know if the starting goalie really matters in terms of the Flyers matchup tonight.
No.
Like, it's...
Doesn't seem like it.
Get pucks on net, play the Flyers game, hopefully get some power plays, take advantage of that, improve.
I would imagine either one of these guys could be beat pretty easily. So, just fire the puck on them constantly from every angle. And I would imagine that they're going to see some stuff go in.
Someone just brought up the Downey hit on Dean McCammond. Remember that preseason where the Flyers had like 2 or 3 suspensions, and it was like Downey with a crazy hit and Boulerice with a crazy hit. They had like 7 suspensions before Christmas that year. It was back with a vengeance for real.
Oh boy,
that's who we're going to see.
What
this
a time
year.
To be alive.
That what was that? The 07-08 team. Yeah. It was the after they got the second pick somehow after winning 22 games. They reformed the team, and it was the back with a vengeance year, and then they
sure were.
They just charged and hit everybody from behind for about 3 months. I think Danny Briere got suspended in that time for like a high stick or something. It was insane. I don't think we're going to see quite that this year. I think the idea...
They don't have to anymore.
I mean, given Luchanko, at least for the first 9 games, I think it's all about speed and skill finally.
How are you feeling about Luchanko getting the games?
I love it. Okay. Listen, I didn't think...
Charlie was the hater, right?
Charlie was the hater.
Yeah.
By the end of the preseason, was like, listen, it probably makes sense to send him back and do that whole,
He rubbed off on us, William. He let him get under our skin.
Let him do the whole, work on your skills and build the dynamic offensive game in juniors and then bring it to the NHL in a year or two.
Right.
But I want more of a sample size. Yeah. I'm not positive what I saw out of Luchanko. I know he had some flashes. I know that first game against Washington was excellent.
Real good.
I know the rookie game for the first period.
Real good.
The first period, he looked better than Michkov.
Yeah, he was real good.
Michkov took over eventually. But in that first period, and that's a rookie game.
I mean, still.
But we have seen enough, I think, to warrant, let's take more of a look. And you look who's sitting tonight. Noah Cates. All right.
I saw some consternation on the line about Noah Cates being out of this lineup.
Noah
and
Cates,
I gotta wonder,
Scott Lawton, who cares?
What's up, fam? Like are we really upset about Noah Cates?
Listen, I want to see Noah Cates take that step that that the team thinks he can. Maybe he is a third-line left winger one day.
Maybe.
But look at these lines.
I know. Who else is coming out?
You want to sit Farabee? You want to sit
Lawton on the opener?
Like Lawton, we saw the video in the Standard of them naming Coots the captain. And in so doing, John Tortorella said, listen, Lawton is like the ultimate captain. But we're going to put the C on Couturier.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
What?
Like,
did you have to? But, I am now of the opinion Scott Lawton will never be traded. Scott Lawton is going to break the all-time games played record for the Philadelphia Flyers. He will probably be the next general manager, maybe president, maybe coach. Who's to say? He is now Flyer for life.
Oh, yeah.
On your fourth line, you could do a lot worse than Scott Lawton. Him,
for
Cates.
Sure.
Who else are you sitting? Hathaway's playing. Paling's playing.
Never sitting.
Yeah, he was the 1C at times last year. And who do you want to take out of this lineup?
Listen, if Jett Luchanko is better than Noah Cates, Noah, thank you for your service. We're moving along. If he's not, then Cates gets right back in. It's fine.
Lawton and Cates, to me, are redundant.
You could probably rotate them, but I don't think
you
they
absolutely
will.
could.
Yeah,
I see them as kind of the same player. If they're,
Cates is probably better.
He's younger, maybe a little bit more offensive upside. I don't know.
The defense is real good.
Yeah, he's very good on the D as well.
I listen. I'm trying to keep it together here. All right, Vince is probably watching.
For years, I mean, you talk about when we were begging them to play Bunneman and Torensky and Ruby just to see. We have Michkov and Luchanko in the lineup tonight. I don't care. I don't care if Tortorella suited himself the fourth line left wing. I don't care. This is the last thing. I am not going to complain about the lineups all year as long as this skilled guys are in. Bobby Brink is in. Joel Farabee's in. These are the guys we were worried about them sitting. They're all playing. If it's Cates or Lawton, I simply don't care. And
if we've said it on this show before, if we end up with the problem being there's too many good guys to fit into the lineup, oh no, what do we do with all of these good players? Oh no.
Maybe someone will want to trade for one of these guys at some point.
Someone will want one of them.
That could be fun, a trade that makes the team better, move a redundant guy for a guy they need.
that happens sometimes.
A center that they need who can play in the top 9, especially if Luchanko doesn't stick. A defenseman who can play in the top 4 because, I don't know how many of these guys are top 4 defensemen. We already have Eric Johnson playing in our top 4. It's day one. Maybe another one of them. That could be cool. More draft picks. That's fun. This is not a bad thing.
No.
We've been begging them to do this for years. They're actually doing it. Hinkle, before we wrap up tonight, I did want to talk to you. So they're opening up, the Flyers are. 4 straight games out west. Yeah. 4 10 o'clock starts at Vancouver tonight, at Calgary. I love starting with a back-to-back. Why not? And then at Edmonton, at Seattle next week. You know what was crazy to me? I actually thought it was going to be more than this. They opened up on the road last year at Columbus, at Ottawa. The last 3 years, though, previous, All homes.
Really?
However,
why have I retconned? Like,
well,
I don't know.
2022-23.
Okay.
Home against New Jersey and Vancouver. Okay. 21-22, 4 straight home games starting with the Canucks. And then 2021, this one doesn't really count because no fans in the stands.
Yeah.
But they did open up with 2 against Pittsburgh and 2 against Buffalo at home.
Right.
But overall, they've opened up on the road in 8 of the last 13 seasons.
Okay, so that's why.
And they've opened up out west or overseas, as they did in 19, 5 of the last 9 years. They, more than half the time, open up with 10 o'clock games.
It's just, okay, so part of me is like, we're getting this out of the way. Now I don't have to stay up anymore to watch a Vancouver Canucks game next time they'll be here. So that part's good, but it just stinks when you've been waiting all summer, you're getting all amped up during training camp and preseason, and then it's 10 o'clock at night. You're very sleepy.
When I asked you to do pre-watch along and post with me, I thought there was no chance.
Bill, I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen in post game. Vince, do not watch this.
The one last thing I wanted to ask you about. So Vancouver, and this is why I didn't bet on the Flyers tonight.
Okay, yeah.
Vancouver's already played at home. This is not their home opener. They're not all overamped. They lost 6-5 in overtime to a division rival. It was a hard game. Yeah. They had a 3-0 and 4-1 lead.
Yeah, choked it away.
The Flames came back to take a 5-4 lead. JT Miller ties it up with 90 seconds left, and the Flames win early in overtime. This was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
They've already, been in an intense game. They've had the sting of a home loss. Do you think this is good or bad for the Flyers?
I mean, I don't know if it matters. They're not ready for Matvei.
Maybe.
They're not ready for what he's got.
Just because oftentimes, and the Flyers opened up last year against Columbus, they only allowed the 2 goals. But early in the season, I think structure is the thing that maybe hasn't come all the way around yet because it's not what they work on.
Do be loving a slow start, too.
It's Tortorella, so you got to believe they're ready. But this is why, because Vancouver's already played and the Flyers have to go out west, why I didn't bet on the Flyers.
I get it. I mean, sometimes, though, that kind of game where you choke away a lead, you lose in overtime, it's a team that you hate, like that can get you squeezing your stick a little bit. You're feeling a little, why did that go so wrong? It's, you know what I mean? Like they could be overthinking things a little bit. It could go.
They already know that their goaltending situation.
Yeah, they know the goalie stinks. So we know what happens when the team figures out that the goalie stinks. Everything starts to look real bad. It
unravels quickly.
It sure does.
All right. Before we wrap up, and don't worry, we weren't going anywhere. I mean, we're going across the studio to the other room, and we're going to watch. Join us for the watch along. Yeah. I'll tweet out the link for that in a few minutes. Let's hit those super chats. All right, just 2 tonight. The first one from Corey. The Canucks just blew a 4-1 lead versus the Flames the other day. The Flyers can win this if they outwork the Nucks.
Yes, Corey.
And yeah, that's absolutely who they are. I am hoping this year they have raised the floor a little bit. Because last year, if they brought their A game, they could play with and beat anybody.
Yes.
And if they brought their B game, they would lose, and sometimes embarrassingly. I'm hoping with Michkov, with Luchanko, with some just steadier goaltending, it's like they don't have to be the hardest working team in the world. They don't have to play their absolute best, and they can still win. And I guess that starts with Ersson, but kind of goes all around to the new infusion of skill.
It does.
All right, and let's hit from the boss man, Vince. Thank you for dinner tonight, Vince. This is exactly what I will be watching. I just have to ask, why not us?
That's right.
And that's how we're going to leave you. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, make sure you're following us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. Follow the podcast. Postgame will be podcasted tonight, all that good stuff. Search PHLY Flyers for that. And don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to our YouTube page for tonight's watch along. This has been the PHLY Flyers pregame show presented by Coors Light. Visit CoorsLight.com/PHLY Hockey to get Coors Light delivered or find a store near you. My name is Bill Matz. That's Kelly Hinkle. Let's go, baby. Game 1. Let's go, Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.